Alright, not much to show here. We've got the brackets for the power steering pump and the power steering pump all cleaned up and degreased, and found a couple little plugs here to plug off all the holes or the connections, and threw it in the sandblaster and blasted it clean, both them and the brackets, and got them in some black paint here. Same thing with the pump. It wasn't that bad because I had rebuilt that thing a couple years ago, so it just needed to be degreased and all the dirt and stuff blown off of it, and I went ahead and threw a fresh coat of paint on it also. So anyways, that's where I'm at. It's got it 70 degrees in here right now. Got this thing running on about, what we got here? Yeah, P1, so that's the lowest setting, and it's blowing out nice and warm. So let that thing run out here, and still haven't touched this, and don't plan on touching it while I'm all greasy and stuff. So my goal for today will be to let these dry, power steering, AC, and get them installed on the motor. So anyways, thought I'd show you what I was doing today. I'm out. Alright, so this is what I'm up to over here. It's Saturday, and weatherman's saying this is probably going to be the last decent day. It's going to drop over into the 20s tomorrow. So figured if I had some outside stuff, I probably should get it done. So I broke out the old pressure washer and took both transmissions outside and degreased them, power washed them. They need a little bit more work, but they're real close to being able to finish, clean up, and maybe shoot some paint on it. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. But anyways, got them both cleaned up. The reason I have two, this came out of a 1973 C body that had nice pink transmission fluid in it, and it didn't look like it was that long from being rebuilt, so I pulled it from pick and pull, and I just figured, you know, give it a shot, because it is 73 coded for 73 B and C bodies, and I never owned the original transmission to this car. Now this one is, I know for sure, rebuilt in 2010, and the guy that owned the car, after he had it rebuilt, he barely drove this car any. So I know this is a good transmission. I mean, it ran and drove whenever I parked the car in here. But as you can see, it's got the big hole here, because this came out of either a van or a motorhome, more than likely a motorhome. So I would rather have the other one in there, the 73 one, than this one. And if it doesn't work out, then this will go back in. Either way, this is still drying. I haven't touched it yet, and I'm just trying to get the greasy stuff out of the way so that I can move on and sand this down with the 120. As for the motor stuff, let's see. You can see I got all my stuff bolted to the front. all my accessories on. Power steering pump's been cleaned up, sandblasted, and painted. That got cleaned up and repainted. This is a brand new Power Master 100 amp single wire that I'm going to be putting on. So I'll be probably bypassing the gauge to use this. But all my other pulleys are on, matching belts. Intake manifold is bolted on. I did get a flow cooler water pump to put on here. Reason being is because with this 493 cubic inch stroker big block, 550 horse, 608 foot-pounds of torque on a dyno, that engine did not like the heat. So for me to get it where I could drive it in the summer, I ended up replacing the 2-core radiator with a 3-core aluminum, and then I put a flow cooler water pump on, and then I put 2 pusher fans on, pushing, and it does have a shroud with like a 7 or 6 blade stiff fan on it. That solved my problems. This thing runs 180, 190 all summer long. So I just figured that would be a smart thing to do with a brand new engine, is not have to worry about overheating problems, because these pumps are great. They didn't pay me to say that, by the way. Flow cooler water pump, good stuff. But anyways, I'm almost ready to get this primed, and I'm working on getting the HP manifolds put on. And then there was something, oh yeah, the starter. I know I'm a cheapskate. They're $98 on Amazon shipped, but this one worked, but it was greasier than hell. So what I did is I took it out with the wire brush and some diesel, and I scrubbed it and cleaned it with some diesel and got most of the grease off of it. And then I took it and dried it all off, hit it with some specialty reducer. I know it's too expensive to be using that, but I just poured some on the rag and wiped it off. Anyways, I threw it into the sandblaster, and I'm sure it's got sand in it, so I'm going to pull it all apart. And I was gonna do that, pull it all apart the other day, and these 2 screws on the back side of here were stripped. So someone's had this thing apart before, so down in them holes I couldn't do anything except for drill the heads off of the screws and then replace them. So at this point I got some spray for electrical contact spray that gets rid of grease. So I'll take it apart, clean it all up, paint this area here, I don't know what you call this, the part of the motor, clean that all up and paint it black, and then clean all the aluminum up, re-grease and put it back together, and then that will be going back on my motor. A lot of work, I know, for $98, but hey, I'd rather keep that $98 right here in my pocket. So with that said, brackets here for the kick down, and the throttle bracket is done, painted. Fuel pump, bought it a few years ago, brand spanking new, cleaned it up, reuse it. Found this, I think it's a separator, I'm not sure what they call it, but it was correct for 73, as mine's got the 3 lines that come from the back instead of 2. And I found this new old stock on eBay and installed it years ago, so it was dirty. So I took and plugged the holes, threw it in the blaster, cleaned it, repainted it. So save a penny everywhere I can, pinching pennies. So anyways, now that the grease and everything, because this was kind of caked up around the areas over here, which is normal for these. Now I can slide them up out of the way again, and I'm still waiting on my fine line tape so that I can tape body lines like this one, because I don't want to wipe them out, you know what I'm saying? So get my fine line tape where I can start sanding this with the 120. Get back with you. I know that was a whole bunch of nothing, but yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know what was going on over here. And then I jacked the car up earlier to put the get these out from underneath, and so now I got to jack the car back up and get it off my chair. Oh, that said, I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, maybe it was 2001, not 10. 6/20/2001. But either way, like I said, he barely drove the car after that was rebuilt, and the car shifted fine. It has a shift kit in it, so it kind of hits a little hard when it goes into the next gear, but hey, that's the way it's supposed to be. But I'm not going to be using that one. I'm going to be using that one, and hopefully it's kosher, and came from Pick and Pull, so I'll have to replace the transmission pan because they poke holes in it and drain all the stuff out of it. But if you look way back in my other videos, that fluid inside there is just pink as can be, so I was thinking this thing had probably been rebuilt. Had brand new brake drums on the back of that car too that I took for this car. So alright, I made a huge mess out here, and I'm gonna close this garage and get back with you later. Night night. Alright, so I got the transmissions cleaned up and put back under the car, so I don't have to do no outside stuff. Just put a guide coat on the roof. I guide coated the trunk, and had a little breakthrough here, not too bad. One low, two lows, but other than that, it's pretty much there. Once I get some glaze and put in these two spots, it'll be ready for the high build polyester primer. But anyways, get ready to sand this 120. Got this all sanded 120. Turned out pretty darn good. Moving forward, the goal was to be able to move forward with this, and this trunk was a headache, that's for sure. But low spot, and other than that, I'm happy with it. So let's see what I got up here. Well, remember, I did this one different than I did this one, and this has already been hit with 120 before I put this other 3 coats of epoxy on it, so this should blast right off there, no problems. All right, okay, like I expected, the roof really just went really quick. We already know we got the 2 lows on the trunk. No big deal. Gonna use the glaze on them. But the roof, like I said, wow, done. Ready for the polyester, that is. So I'm going to work on quarter panels, get both the quarter panels done, and just work my way forward. That's the El Plano, the plan of attack. So I'd like to get this part of it done, the 120 on the epoxy, pretty quick here because the end of December is like right here, and I want to start putting some parts on this car, man. I want to get some paint on here so I can start putting engines in and new bumpers and grills and my interior back in. Yay! Alright, a whole year on this thing so far. I'll get back with you. Alright, so sandy. Roof ready. Quarter panel ready. Trunk ready. Still gotta do this panel. And I just guided the other side. 1 low on this quarter panel, so super happy with that. You see it there, 1 little low, you see it? All right. 2 lows on the trunk, no lows on the roof. And my goal is to get this one done today. So I just taped off my line. Now I'm going to sand this area, and I'll move my tape to this side and tape this line, and then I'll do this area, and then I will remove that line or tape and put the tape on top, tape around my wheel well opening, and then get this thing sanded on this side with the 120. Alright, that's where I'm at with it. Oh, and ran out of fuel in that, started spitting smoke at me, and then I looked outside and I was like, what the heck, come on, really? Snow, leave us alone, snow. But anyways, all right, get back with you. All right, so this is where I'm at. Ran out of steam. So repeat, roof ready for the Evercoat high build, super build should I say, optics. Quarter panel pretty much done. I had that 1 low spot that I'll be putting some glaze on, getting rid of that. The 2 lows on the trunk, repeat. Nothing on this quarter panel. It blocked out good. Even the little dent that I used to have right here blocked out. It's not there no more. I went a little further than I was going to, because I was going to stop at the quarter panel here. Got a little extra boost of energy there for a minute. And did the top side of the door. Still got this bottom part here to do. Rocker panel and bottom of the door, but I want to put some tape on that line so I don't wipe it out. But I'm done. I ran through in one place on the door, which that's killer. So that door is super nice, and that super build should get rid of that. Alright, so that's where I'm at. Stopping with this door, going in the house. Been quite a while out here today, so I'll tackle that door over there. Will be my next move, and then fenders and hood, and I should be ready for the Evercoat Super Build epoxy. Yay! One more step, and with that, gonna go with 3 coats on it, and then when I sand that, it will be probably the 120 just to knock the texture out real quick, and then I will be doing 220, 320, and then 400. And once I get all those grits and get down to 400, I might actually go back and hit it one last time with 600, just so it's super nice, super straight, and not waving at anybody when it's going down the road and going into the car shows. That is. Alright. Walla bam, walla boom, wop 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 up. I know my weird ass sounds. I'm a weirdo. Ka-chow. But I'm just proud of myself, man. I've been putting in a lot of work on this old dude. Alright. Okay. So, I'll give a quick update here. Took a couple days off because I was getting overwhelmed with this. So why not just step away for a minute? So I did, but before I did, I had sanded everything, the whole car, with a 120 grit, and the conclusion was that Pete and repeat was the roof is done, this door up here is done, but needed a little bit more work on the bottom. This quarter panel was done. Had a low spot here that I repaired. The trunk lid was done, but then I had 2 lows that I had to take care of. So that's that. This quarter panel, super nice. Didn't have anything that I had to do on this one. This door, super nice. Along the bottom of the rocker down there, great. This fender was pretty nice. Had a low here that I had to take care of, and it had a few spots down here on this little leg. And then the hood, it had a couple lows, and that's kind of what frustrated me, was because I mean, I knocked dents out of it, I thought. Maybe I just didn't do a good enough job of it, but it is what it is. So it had some lows that needed to be filled. and taken care of. So with that said, this fender has some pinholes in this area, one little lobe here. Still working on the lows that were here above the marker light, and then a couple other lows. Same thing with this dog leg down here, and then a little low right here in the front. But other than that, worked on that line a little, filled in a low here. So that's where I'm at, just filling in all these lows. And what's great is I'm actually marking areas off that are done. You know what I'm saying? So it's getting there. Do I need to have it this straight in the epoxy part of it? Hell, I don't know. I ain't a body guy. I mean, I did I could do some sheet metal work. I can put some sheet metal in, and I can hang quarters and do all that stuff, repeat and repeat. I was afraid to do the body work on this car, so after doing all the sheet metal and tubbing it out, and floors and quarter panels and tail pan and blah blah everything, fenders, I went ahead and let the professionals do it. And then on my Roadrunner, I wanted to learn, so I went ahead and jumped in. I did all the body work on it, and it went to paint, and it came out nice. You know, I didn't shoot the paint on it, but it did come out nice. And I just feel that I'm taking this one an extra step, where, like I said, the Roadrunner is a super nice driver that I wouldn't feel bad about getting out. And I never did get it in the rain or anything, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings because, like I said, it's nice. Show quality nice. I've had it in shows and it's won awards, and it's been in the museum, and it's made second place at World of Wheels, so, or third place. So I mean, it's nice. I'm wanting to take this the extra step because I want it to be not just nice. I mean, I want it to win awards. I like the paint awards, you know. If you can get the best paint and stuff like that, them are kind of the awards I like, the specialty awards, the best in show and stuff like that, you know. I mean, I got a few best in shows and quite a few first places on that car, and I think I can do it with this car too. So, alright, I'm just rambling on here. So at this point, I'm getting ready to wipe it down. Probably will reshoot the epoxy on this bottom here on the hood, and I'm thinking about going ahead and shooting it on the trunk lid one more time. I did get this sanded out. It turned out real nice. Has a couple, that's something else I've been fighting and chasing, is the pinholes. So I got a few little pinholes here that I need to take care of, but other than that, that panel turned out real nice and is ready. Will the super high build polyester primer take care of pinholes like that? I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little glaze in them. I went and got this gold, or whatever you want to call it, U-pole gold glaze, and it says easy sanding. I call bullcrap on that. That stuff is like a rock. But anyways, right now I've just been going all over like there and lightly sanding getting that guide coat off, because I don't want to shoot anything over guide coat and have it come back and haunt me later. So anyways, thought I'd show you where I was at. I am like this close to putting on the polyester primer. I mean, I'm so close. It's just, I could taste it. I'm like, come on, just go ahead and shoot it on, but I don't want to. So I still have plenty of over a gallon of the epoxy. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to wipe off the car and shoot epoxy back on a few spots, and I'll get back with you. Alright. Oh, as for this, I'm still hanging here. Fuel pump's still ready to go on. Haven't done dingly with that. I'm almost gonna put that aside and save it for a backup or something. I mean, I think they're cheap enough. I might as well just buy a new one. Why not? Alright. Alright. Couple more coats of epoxy on the hood, and kind of touched up my ball-headed spots here and there, and a couple more coats on the deck lid. So that's where I'm at with it. Let it dry again, and we'll guide coat again, and hopefully this time we won't run into a bunch of lows, and we can move on from this part of it. We'll see how that goes. Alright, this is where I'm at with it over here. Shot this on there yesterday, that epoxy, and it's not dry yet. Yeah, TDC sheet actually says, let's see, apply 1 to 2 medium wet coats, allow 15 minutes between coats, scuff after 48-hour period. But then over here, move some stuff out of the way because it's all right here on top of stuff. Flash between coats 30 minutes to sand overnight. Nah, it's been overnight, but that's at 77 degrees, and it gets cold in here when I don't leave the heat on. But I've had it up to 69 to 72, 73, 74 degrees out here for most of the day. And how I knew it wasn't ready was I guide coated it and went over it with my block once or twice there. But it just it wants to waste paper, so I'm not even gonna mess with it no more. Yeah, here it is. Just wants to ball up on there, so I'm done with that. Let it sit and dry for some more time. Yeah. But anyways, so I decided, well, I'll just do something with the engine today. Went ahead and ordered the new starter. It was actually, it's cheaper. It was like $69 or something like that. So I went ahead and ordered that. And then I thought, I'll work on the motor. So pulled out my gaskets, started looking for the fuel pump gasket, and well, that's the only two gaskets I got left out of my kit, and a water pump here from the pump where I bought. So no fuel pump gasket. So I got online and looked, and I was over there. They was what was it, $3-4, and wouldn't be here for like a week. And so I remembered I had this Felpro gasket maker stuff here. So I found that, pulled that out, and then I went and found my gasket maker 3000, and went ahead and just cut a hole in the center there to go over that, pressed it on there, and it left a grease mark around it, and held it. I just made my own. So I got a fell no fell. So anyways, I got a gasket to put on, so I'm getting ready to install the fuel pump, and that'll be one step closer to where I need to be. And I think I'm going to go ahead and pull these studs for the exhaust and go ahead and get them siliconed and put back in, because as we all know, they run into water. So that'll be that. I'll get back with you. Okay, this is where I'm at with it. First, trying to get the remnants of the old exhaust off the HP manifolds. The bolts didn't want to come off, or nuts, so had to break out the El Torcho and heat them up to get them to pop out. And that was all fine and dandy, but you see, got all my studs all silicone and put into the block, and got my passenger side HP manifold on, but my driver's side HP manifold, you know, it has a heat stove that goes on here. Well, someone had broke the bolts off in the manifold, who knows when, trying to get that off of there. So excuse me, I'm thirsty. I'm not one to give up. When I start out to do something, I try to make it right. So I wanted to get them broken bolts out of these holes here. That way when I do find the stove that goes on here that hooks to this, then the holes will be ready. I still need to run a tap in them to clean them out, but 31 tries is what it took. The first one here, it came out after, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 tries. This first one did, of welding to the bolt and then welding a nut on it, and then sprayed it with some WD. So yeah, so that came out after about 5 times. So 25 times later on that rear one, and it wasn't coming out. So what I ended up doing on that one, now for the focus. I drilled a hole down the center of the bolt with the skinny drill bit, and then I found one that's just slightly smaller than the bolt and drilled it down in there, and then was able to weld inside of the bolt. See the weld inside of it, and that finally did it, broke it loose. Yep. So just don't give up, keep trying. If it don't work, try again. If that don't work, then there's more than one way to skin a cat. So anyway, with that said, it's ready to have the stove put on, and that's where I'm at with this today. So getting closer, got the HP manifolds on, everything bolted on the front here. I still have to modify these two brackets to make them fit. Alternators on, ordered a new starter, fuel pump is on, fuel separator is on, and I did put new bolts and new studs in, so shouldn't have to worry about that. Now I don't have the damper that goes here. This has already been welded shut on both sides, so I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm going to be happy with it, and it doesn't make it run any different. It just helps heat the motor up, and if it's going to be garage kept and only driven in the summertime, it ain't going to really matter that much. So I need to paint that black and get a thermostat, put a thermostat on it. I do have that gasket, and I do believe I have a thermostat housing in here that I can use. Probably just need to clean it up and make sure it's flat. But put a thermostat in it, and we're getting closer. Because anytime you're working in the winter time, it takes a couple, 2 or 3 days for that primer to dry. So while that's drying, I need to be doing other stuff. So with that said, where I'm at with this is I need to pull the transmission back out. I'm going to wire brush it all, and then stand it up on its end, and I'm going to paint that transmission the same color as that smoke gray, because that's kind of the theme I'm going with anyway. So paint the transmission smoke gray, and then it will be ready to start getting the transmission and the motor in the car. Alright, that'll be coming up quick because I need this area, because what I plan on doing when I paint the car is pull the fenders off. All this will disappear, or this would be disappearing, and I should have enough room over here to put one fender there and one fender over here. The reason I want to do it that way, because I've thought about it, and doing it that way, I will be able to paint all of the door jamb area, and all that area back there, and the hinges and all that stuff, with the fender off, and with the door being able to open it up. You know, so far I'll be able to paint this area, and then kind of just leave the door kicked a little bit to paint the rest. That's my plan anyway. So here's my used trim that I got, and I will be cleaning that up and knocking the dings out of that. Can't get new anymore. I mean, I've been waiting over a year and a half for Classic Industries to get some new. I did find one new old stock piece for the right rear, and I've got my bait out to see if I can't find more. If I can find the other three, then I will have to use that used stuff, and I won't have to knock the dents out of it right away. So, alright, I'm out of this garage. That was fun. But I didn't give up, and all glory goes to the Father. And the old devil, he tries to fight you and do everything he can to make things not happen. But I told him God was going to let me get it, and he did. So, alright. Alright, so this is where I'm at. Gotta clean up my shenanigans from working on the exhaust manifolds, and I went ahead and ran a tap through here, and I went ahead and found some grade 8 bolts to throw in here. So when I get the heat shield, not the heat shield, the stove that connects to here, I already have my bolts ready. Grease and bodywork don't mix. I've been giving this a couple days to dry, and I think it's about there. I went ahead and guide coated the trunk, sanded it off, and amazingly, I am so close on this trunk. Don't that look good? So this is after putting a guide coat on and flat blocking it. I got one low left, and it was so minute. I think that's how you say it. But it was very, very light. I mean, the sandpaper you could see was scratching across it, but it was just tiny low, so that it left a little bit of guide coat right there. So I circled it so that I don't break out into the good area. Put a little bit of filler on it here, and once that area is sanded, it's done. It's ready. So that's another one I can mark off for polyester primer. So let's see, Pete and repeat. Let's see, roof for sure. This quarter panel for sure. This panel for sure. After that, trunk lid for sure. For sure, man. This quarter panel ready. This door ready. Rocker panel ready. I think the fender's ready, because I had that one low spot here that I filled back in. So I'm pretty sure that's ready. I'm going to run a block across it one more time. I'm going to run a block across the hood. I don't know for sure if I got everything. I'm praying that I did. Same thing over here on this fender. pretty sure I got it all, but I want to run a block across it one more time, lightly, just to make sure. So, with that saying, fenders, that close. Hood, not sure. Now, this part, the bottom of the door, I don't think I got it yet. I'm going to go ahead and run a block across it with the guide coat and see where I'm at. But when I sprayed this on there the other day, it was kind of glossy, and when I was looking at the reflection of my hose, it didn't look great. It looked like it had a few little wobbles in it. So I'm going to go back after that and see if possibly I could maybe just get by, because I put like 3 more coats on it. Maybe I'll get by with just sanding the guide coat, but we'll see. I'm having a feeling that I might have to spread a little bit more down here on the bottom. We'll see. I hope not. So anyways, boring body work videos. I'm sure nobody likes them. I've only been getting maybe like 50 or 60 views on these. But when I did that rear end, how to put the 7-leaf on here, man, that sucker really got a bunch of hits. Either way, ain't like I'm getting paid for it. But alright, thought I'd show you where I'm at. Engine is pretty much almost ready to go in. I ordered the oil, so the oil's coming, and I got to get spark plugs and wires, and I got a ready to run distributor. So I think I'm going to be able to put it in the car, put the fuel tank back under it, because I got a brand new tank to put under it still. Put the fuel tank back up under it and run all the fuel lines, and then all I have to do is get a coil and hook it to the power to power it up and get this thing to start. I don't think I have to put the dash and all that in to get it running. I'm going to do it the secret squirrel way. Alright, night. Okay, update here real quick. Fender ready, door ready, rocker ready, rear quarter panel ready, roof good, trunk lid ready, filler panel ready, quarter panel good, door good, rocker good, fender good. So I'm down to this, got it all guide coated, getting ready to hit it and see where I'm at with it. I'm praying that I'm ready. Sandy. Once I get the hood done, and if it turns out good and I don't have to put any more filler in, I'll probably mix up a little bit more of the epoxy just to go over this area right here, because I did have some repairs right here on the bottom of the door, right in this area. So I want to put some more epoxy over that, and then once it's all said and done, I'll go over it all with a 120 on my soft block, just to make sure that I got a tooth on it all. And then, yay, it'll be finally that day to put on the Evercoat Optics Super Build. And then pretty much all downhill from there. So I think all the filler work is pretty much done. Knock on wood. We'll see what happens with the hood. Alright. Alright, so I sound frustrated. I'm not. So after resanding the hood with the guide coat, center is ready to go. Did have tiny, I mean they're just tiny lows. Low, 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 low. Here. So count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think the hood, once I get these sanded here, I'm pretty sure the hood's going to be ready. So with that said, I am finally ready for the polyester primer, and that'll be that. So once I get the polyester primer on, I'll put out a video, and then that'll be the end of this session. Alright, night night. Alright, just a quick video right here. Went ahead and scuffed the whole thing with 120 because I had sprayed the epoxy back on. So going by the techno data sheet, it needed to be scuffed before you can spray anything back over it. But just went across it lightly with the 120 on a soft block, and I think I'm ready here. Ready for that high build stuff to go on here. I don't know nothing about it. I mean, I use slick sand on the bottom side of the trunk, and it came out pretty thick, if I don't remember right. So anyways, that's where I'm at with it. So I'll get back with you on that. This thing here, the combustion chamber, you can see all that black soot. Had to pull the filter off the bottom and blow all the soot out of it. It started acting up. It was plumb full of soot. So first time that ever happened, so we went ahead and took it all the parts off and blew it all out real good. So seemed to fixed it. Alright. I'll get back with you. Alright, so just cleaning up over here and blowing dust out, and just cleaned all that up, and been working on getting this table cleaned off so I have a place to mix the primer up, and that way it's all streamlined, and I can get this into the polyester primer. So I took all my new old stock and new parts that I bought for the car, the new grills and taillight lenses and all that good stuff, and put it all in the trunk so I can at least say I installed it somewhere. It's installed inside the trunk, so that way it's out of my way, and this is taped off where I can in there. So alright, that's kind of just where I'm at with it. And that gave me, putting all that new stuff in there, gave me all this room to spread things out, like I said, and to get my chemicals up off the floor and up here where I can mix. And I bought this here mixing, pouring thing to use. That way I can just mix it up while it's still in the can and pour it out as I need it. Because the way I understand it, this stuff here is on a short time clock, so you got to only mix what you're spraying within a 30-minute period. So the way I figure it, I will probably mix like a half gallon at a time, and that way it don't solidify in the mix, you know what I'm saying, before I could get it sprayed on the car. So alright, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Got other things showing up. Oil filter showed up. Wicks, I don't know how you guys feel about wicks, but that's what I've always used. And then comp cams, engine break-in oil, that's what I used on this one. I figured I'd use it again. Alright, just thought I'd show you where I'm at. I'm going to start taping off the wheel well areas here shortly, but it's dinner time, so get back to you. Alright, so back at the ranch over here, getting ready to do this probably tomorrow, but I figured this would probably be a good time to pre-fit the wheel well trim and make sure that it's gonna be right, because you know the brand new quarter panels didn't have the holes for the trim to start with, so I had to drill the holes and make sure that they fit nice before there's any paint on the car or anything like that. Got all 4 of them pre-fit. They all look pretty good. You can't buy these new anymore. I've been waiting for over a year for a set, and this car was coded for wheel well trim, gutter trim, and the rocker trim. So it was also coded for fender mounted turn signals, so I will have to drill the hole in this side because this fender didn't have them, but it's coded for the trim that goes around here and across the hood, and it's also coded for the trim that goes along here and across the deck lid. So with that said, this This car did have a little bit of bling bling on it here and there, and these things here, they're always tore up, rotted, or beat up. Shout out to Andy Pole for keeping these around for us guys. So with that said, I mean, they got a few little dings and nicks in them, but that's going to be a matter of just sitting down underneath the big eye with my glasses on and a little bit of sanding and polishing and get them looking back good. So like I said, small little dings here and there, some little imperfections across the edges. This is probably the worst of them all, with this area right here. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that's about the worst one right there. I'm going to attempt to straighten it out as good as I can, and then once I get it straight, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, that was the worst of the damage on all of them. They're all pretty decent. They'll need a little bit of work, like I said. Some little bit of hammering and scuffing and polishing them up. That way they'll match the car, you know. New paint, have new looking trim. Alright, I'm out. Alright, so this is the last video until we get some base coat, clear coat, engine going in. But this is the last of this series. Hadn't put one out in a little while, but this is the high build, or super high build polyester. Someone had told me 2 gallons, so I ended up with like 1.25 gallons on this car, and that's 3, well, I'm going to say 4 light coats, because my air compressor will not keep up with a 2.5 tip, so I would have to spray, wait for a little bit, and normally I could get through 1 cup before I'd have to wait. So that was roof, both quarter panels, and then I would have to wait a little bit, and then I do the trunk lid and half of the hood, and then I'd have to wait a little bit, and then I would do the other half of the hood, and then the one of the fenders, and then wait a little bit, and then do a fender and a door. So anyways, yeah, it was kind of a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. And I got 4 coats on there, and now I just need to let it dry. But my car is pink. And my neighbor, he didn't say anything, but he looked in here and he kind of smiled, and I was like, no, it's not gonna stay pink. So anyways, that's where I'm at with it. My pink, Panther pink Dodge Charger. I bet you that would be a rare one, because I don't think they did Panther pink in '73, did they? I don't know, I'll have to look that up, but I don't think they did. Alright, I'm out of here, man. This took a whole lot longer. I thought it was going to, take me about 3 hours or so, but it didn't. It took longer, and that was because my air compressor not keeping up. So, with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy the video. Later.